everyone. Thanks for joining us on Texas Insider. I'm Jim Cardle. We've been following the budget issue here in the state capitol in Austin as legislators both on the House and Senate side are struggling to solve a budget shortfall. And we're pleased to be able to catch State Representative Aliseda from Beeville down in District 35 today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Representative. It was last week on a Sunday that the House passed its version of the budget. The Senate is this week crunching its numbers, going through its process. Tell us some of the concerns that you've had or what the members on the floor are really focusing on it in this budget that you've been talking about.
I believe the members in the House feel the same way I do on this budget. We're very concerned about how deep these cuts are in the two areas that are the primary parts of our budget, the education and the health and human services part of our budget. Me personally, having talked to people in my district, I'm very apprehensive about what's going to happen to the nursing homes, how we're going to deal with that crisis of where we're going to put these people if in fact nursing homes close, which is what they're saying they're going to do because they won't be able to operate with the money they're going to be getting for what they do.
Or what about there's people talking about how you all prioritize, whether it be health care, education, prisons, transportation. What are you hearing?
Well, other members are telling me the same thing. You know, education is of course, always a top priority, but I believe there's a certain frustration. We've been spending quite a lot of money on education. In fact, it's doubled or tripled in the last 20 years, and we're not getting a better result. So is money the answer for education? I don't think it is. I think that we need to give the school districts money to do whatever they're going to do with, but that they're going to have to make some smart decisions on a local level as to how they're going to use that money.
And y'all are addressing the idea of giving local ISDs more control of their programs. Correct?
Chairman Eisler's come up with several novel ways to do that. In fact, I think part of the problem that we're spending so much money on education is because of the state mandates that have been brought about over the decades. But on the other hand, if you take away some of those mandates, are you still going to have a good result? And that's really the balancing act. You know, charter schools can create students that are better than what we have out of public education for a lot less. So we need to find where they're working in public education is not.
So in your book, healthcare would be the top priority.
I believe healthcare is a safety net, at least with respect to the elderly. Now, there might be some areas that we can trim, fraud, waste, and abuse from, but as far as nursing homes, I think they do a pretty good job for taking care of elderly people for what we pay them to do. So I'm very concerned about the nursing homes.
And Representative, if I can jump to another issue real quick and look toward what you all are going to be doing after the Easter break. The Senate's already addressed the issue of sanctuary cities. Houston is the prime example as the fourth largest city in America, but what do you anticipate on the floor of the House next week concerning sanctuary cities?
I'm anticipating that, as usual, much like the voter ID bill, the Democrats are going to make this a race issue or an ethnic issue, and I think it's actually a law and order issue.
And you're a former prosecutor, former district
county judge, former prosecutor,
I've seen the effects.
Sat on the Board of Pardons and Parole. Yes, we have, for example, in our prison system, about 9,000 to 10,000 illegal aliens in our prison system, and they're not there for little minor infractions. In fact, we have, I believe, 22 illegal aliens on death row. And to keep those people there is costing us about $159 million. And these are people that have come over here illegally and committed crimes here that we can probably not put a price on the price to the victims of those crimes. I'm telling you about 22 people on death row. What is the life of someone worth to a family? You can't put a price on it.
So you expect it'll pass next week?
I believe it'll pass, and it'll pass overwhelmingly, and I'm thinking it might actually pass with some Democrat votes.
Excellent. Well, appreciate your stopping by to visit with us, folks. thanks for tuning in to Texas Insider. The representatives going down to the Jurisprudence Committee to hear bills, I believe one of which makes trespassing or makes illegal immigrants liable for a trespassing. We will be visiting
That'll
with
be
you
an
in the
interesting
future.
hearing. I'd like to see what happens. I want to hear the arguments on both sides.
Thank you for joining us. Again, for Texas Insider, I'm Jim Cardle. You're either an insider or you're not.